Hello, podcast listeners. We know podcasts are a great way to catch up on a program that you may have missed on KSJE, and it's provided as a free service of this radio station. But you know, KSJE is now listener-supported, and so while you enjoy this podcast, we hope that you'll also take some time to join KSJE. Become a member today. It's quite easy to do. Just go to our website at ksje.com/support and pick the level of support that best matches your budget. Thanks again for listening. Here's your podcast. This program is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, who's expanding its services to offer low-cost blood screenings all year round, now offering walk-in convenience to get the blood tests you want when you want them. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, is available in Farmington at the hospital's laboratory and the Outpatient Diagnostic Center on 30th Street. Also in Aztec at San Juan Health Partners Family Medicine at 120 Llano Street. With nearly 20 tests available, there's an option for everyone. MyLabs, patient-ordered testing, a wellness service of San Juan Regional Medical Center. Well, let me turn to my guest who is here with me this morning. Patience Williams is back with us from the San Juan County Partnership. Good morning.
Good morning, Scott. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. Thanks for coming back.
Yes, absolutely.
Lots of cool things to talk about.
Yes.
Right?
A lot.
And all about healthy food.
Healthy food.
Right?
Yes.
That is what you are here to talk to me about. And so let's talk a little bit about some of the things that are going on, because I know you've been very instrumental in getting some grant funds and then also working here with the college too on some money, right?
Yes, correct. We have, through our local food, local places, technical assistance grant, we had on the steering committee, Judy Castleberry was with us, and she then took a lot of the information from the local foods, local places on our action plan going forward, and she was able to go with the university grant. And out of that, we now have Erin Havens, who is our food hub project manager for a food hub here in Farmington, who is going to reach, all the regional area, but it's going to be housed in Farmington. So
explain to us what that means. What is a food hub?
I'm going to read a definition because it's a lot, so I'm going to keep it pretty straightforward. Okay, a food hub is an organization that works with farmers and buyers to aggregate and sell local produce at restaurants, schools, and grocery stores. This allows produce from many smaller farms to be able to reach larger markets. Food hubs help with organization of sales, marketing, food safety, and other logistics, and have a facility to store produce and hold workshops. San Juan College is working with a number of stakeholders, including local farmers, buyers, the City of Farmington, and other organizations to establish a food hub in downtown Farmington.
Very exciting.
Yes, it is very exciting.
And this is something that other communities have done as well, correct? We're not reinventing the wheel here. This is happening all over the country and all over the state.
It's all over the state, and it's just north of us. We have a great food hub in Cortez.
Okay.
And then we have the South Valley in Albuquerque, which is a lot of the model that we're working with. Bonnie was able to go down recently, her and Erin, and we actually got to talk to the director of the South Valley.
Nice.
One in Albuquerque. So we have a lot of information, a lot of good things going on. We just had our local foods, local places workshop.
Right.
Updates. We're having meetings every month. We have one coming up, and this is, we know a lot of people work and they have full-time jobs, but they want to be active in the local foods landscape in Farmington and the regional area. And so we have the meetings, and then Bonnie sends out updates. So one of the big things, if you want to connect with us, if you want to stay updated but can't get to all the meetings because we do meet during the day, we are looking at changing some of the meeting times to do an evening audience, to get not just the people we have that this is part of their job, but then we have professionals and people that work that want to come in after hours and get involved. So I do have, if you go to the ACEs at nmsu.edu,
okay,
our local foods, local places, it's the NMSU Extension Office website.
Okay.
And subscribe to our newsletter.
That's how you can get
and then
in the know.
Yep, in the know. And Bonnie sends out, we'll have our meeting, and then she'll put everything together and send out updates. And you can call either one of us at any time if you want to come to a meeting.
Right.
And then our next meeting is actually on March 26th, and it's going to be at 10 to 12. and it's here at the Small Business Center.
Okay.
It's right across campus.
And this would be for folks who want to learn more about what you're talking about, or maybe
Yes.
want to get involved from a business standpoint or a farming standpoint or growing standpoint. Is that
All standpoints.
all standpoints?
We have
Okay.
professionals. We have
An
anyone,
eating standpoint?
Eating standpoints.
Okay, good.
You know, we had a meeting the other day with some schools. We're
Right.
trying to get, of course, local food into our school systems. And
Right.
it's hard because it's a huge. I know in Albuquerque they need 1,000 heads of lettuce or 10,000 heads of lettuce for one day.
Yeah, right.
You know, so
We don't need that many.
right,
in
but
San
we
Juan
don't
County,
have any
but still.
farms in San Juan County or the surrounding areas that could actually produce that.
Right.
And so, but if we have a food hub somewhere where they can store and actually get everything aggregated, we have 10 or 15 small farmers that can put together that order.
Right.
And so we have fresh local food into our schools to our kids.
And
of
this is
course-
what we've talked about before, is the whole idea of getting locally produced food that's fresher and not being trucked halfway across the country in a place like a food hub that can be stored and then have enough capacity to then fulfill some of these bigger orders for things like the school district, the college, the hospital,
Right.
these
Senior
these big
centers.
users of food, right?
Absolutely.
Instead
Yes.
of getting the frozen stuff and thawed out and served.
Right.
Right?
Right. Yep.
Nothing against frozen food.
No, frozen food, if you're going to have in the wintertime,
Yeah.
go frozen. It's the next kind of best thing.
Right.
You know?
But when we have it, or
Right.
it's not too far from harvest and we can store it for a small amount of time and make it available, that's what you're talking about.
Absolutely, yes.
This whole concept.
Right, and get the fresh lettuce and cherry tomatoes, you know, kids in the salad bars at the schools.
Right.
Fresh cherry tomatoes from, you know, down the road garden. You can put those on there. And I know that everyone, or hopefully everyone, has had a fresh tomato versus store-bought tomato. With kids.
Is there a difference, Patience? I'm just wondering.
I don't know. Flavor, no flavor. So, and with kids, and, you know, a lot of things is, you know, my kid doesn't eat broccoli. My kid doesn't eat spinach. Well, they haven't had to try fresh, you know.
It might be a different situation.
Right. And, you know, one of my dreams is to get into schools and have fresh fruit and vegetable tastings and have the kids able to taste a fresh cherry tomato versus store-bought cherry tomato.
Right.
And fresh spinach out of the garden, you know, anything like that. So that's my dream.
That's it.
Yeah.
We're getting closer,
We're
aren't
getting
we?
very close to
It's
having
kind of
that come to
it's
fruition.
kind of scary how close we're getting, I think, to hear
Really
you talk.
fast. Really
Right.
fast.
Because
So-
we have talked about this a couple of times
Mm-hmm.
on this program, and all this was kind of a 10-year plan to kind of move forward and get some of
Correct.
this grant money and the planning money, which is what you've been successful in getting. And even they were saying 10-year plan, 5-year plans,
Right.
things like that. And now we're talking about maybe
A
2-year plan or a
a
year plan.
to 2 years.
Right.
Yes, the city of Farmington has been amazing. Judy and Aaron are pounding the pavement out there and getting so much done so fast that within a year or two, we're going to have a food hub up and running.
Right.
So
And so what that means for other folks is that maybe some of these people who are interested in maybe farming or had been farming in their families but got out of the farming business or cut back because of economics,
Correct.
there may be some news or opportunities on the horizon to ramp back up because there'll be a bigger demand for locally produced
a
food.
bigger demand and a commercial kitchen that they can add a value-added product. Jellies, salsa, tomato sauce, you know.
Right.
You can take grandma's recipe for her marinara and
Right.
get it canned and then sell it at the growers market, at the makers market. We have all these different markets through San Juan County. We have the downtown makers market on Thursday nights.
Right.
And you can get it out there and you can make a little extra money and then to kind of bridge that gap of farming for part-time versus farming as a lifestyle again.
Right. Which is what we used to have here. That's why we have a name of Farmington. It was a
Correct.
farming town.
Right.
100 years ago. And so we're kind of everything old is new again.
Right.
To
And
coin
bring
a
in
phrase.
full circle. Bring
Right.
it all back.
And of course, there are lots of studies and lots of things about how nutritious locally grown food is and food is before it gets frozen and thawed and reheated and things like that. I mean, there's a lot of health benefits to eating locally grown food, which is why we talk about the growers markets in the summer season.
Correct. You have, you know, you get a red tomato or green head of lettuce or, you know, ripe apples, everything in the grocery store. Those have been trucked across the country, sometimes out of the country, and they were not picked ripe.
Right.
And so every day they spend in that refrigerator truck or that trailer coming across the country, they're losing nutrients. So it's, by the time they get here, there's not a lot left. You know,
Right.
It's, it's as good as you're going to get sometimes.
This time of year,
Right.
probably this is what we have. But in summertime, and if you ever go to the growers market, and if you haven't gone, everyone, I encourage you to check it out, because there is such a variety of stuff that is grown within 100 miles of Farmington that shows up at these markets.
It's unbelievable. The melons. Oh, the melons. I didn't even know. I didn't even know what half those melons were. It was fantastic.
Right.
And of course, they cut them up and let you try them. So that's
Even better.
It's even better,
Yeah.
because then you can pick out, I want 10 of each. So
Exactly. And so, but that's a big, but it's a part of an education too, to get folks back into that habit of considering the local option, because a lot of us do kind of go to the easiest thing, which is the grocery store.
Right.
And stock up, and there we go. That's what we've done for 50
forever.
years or
Right.
whatever.
And, and I know that people, it talks about price a lot, but then you think, is like all this money, it's not going to a corporate store chain, that the money is going out of Farmington. The only money that stays in Farmington are the wages, which is great.
Sure.
But then you have the growers markets, which there's one almost every single day in the summertime. I think there's only 1 or 2 days of the week that we don't have a growers market in the area.
In our communities, you're right.
Yes.
That's true.
And so all that money is going right back into our local economy, to help our growers, to their gas, everything. It all just stays in our community.
Sure.
We're not paying for someone's big house on the coast.
Right. Which is what we're talking about this morning. And of course, being more self-sufficient, I think, too, as we talk about perhaps some climate change situations and having to transport food across the country, across the world. We're importing stuff from South America. Who knows?
Right.
There's a lot to be said about having local sources of food.
Right.
For communities.
And if we can keep it growing all year long, there's a dream for a lot of people in our community want to do a big greenhouse for the schools, which is kind of a dream for us too, and have it growing all year long. So we can have, a little bit of fresh produce throughout the entire year going into our schools, the health benefits for our kids, and just the taste. I'm kind of a foodie. And if you see me, I love food. And just, it's great. Fresh grown anything is better than bought from the store any day.
Right. But it's all about that scale, right? Because it's easy for me to build a greenhouse in my backyard of, 5 by 5 or something like that. But this has to be on a more commercial scale, really, to provide the type of food that you are needing for the schools.
Correct.
And if you talk about Farmington schools, when you start talking about Aztec schools or all the county schools, it's even a lot more demand.
Small. We start small with small community gardens at the schools, and then just grow from there.
Right. And some schools are having those, right? There's more and more interest in those community gardens at the schools these days.
Absolutely. Yeah, we do. And, we already have a greenhouse, of course, Mr. Bonds and his greenhouse at Farmington. And we do have a greenhouse at Piedra Vista also. So start working with different schools. And
I know folks are very worried about the greenhouse when the new school was built for high school. But
I have to say, my daughter cried when they were torn down. She spent her entire high school career.
But it's back.
Mr. Bond's room. So.
Yeah. But they have one.
They do, and it's state of the art, and it's beautiful. Bonnie took her master gardeners on a tour there. It's absolutely amazing. So
that's very exciting.
Yeah.
Very good. Patience Williams is my guest this morning. She works with the San Juan County Partnership, also with the Healthy Kids, Healthy Communities grant program, and we are talking about locally grown food and this whole idea of having food sources that are grown locally and available at other times of the year rather than just the summertime. But summertime brings up growers market, and they've been growing, getting bigger and bigger. I think more sales, more people.
Absolutely.
Over the years, there's a new location, of course, a newer location out at the Gateway Park Museum.
Right.
And that seems to be pretty popular.
It is. It's
with
very
a lot
popular
of folks
and
in Farmington.
Huge.
And as you mentioned, other communities are picking up on this and having growers markets in their communities too, so folks can kind of shop around, and whatever's convenient for them to get out, they can get to a growers market and buy this healthier food.
Yes, and we have the growers market, the vendor training coming up.
Okay.
And this is a regional vendor training.
Got it.
And we are having it is March 16th out at McGee Park, and the vendor training is going to be from 10 to noon. And then we're going to have kind of a meet and greet networking from noon to 1, because we're going to have every growers market in San Juan County there.
Okay.
The vendors can then go to training at Shiprock vendor or growers market and be like, I want to be a vendor here, and the Kirtland growers market, Bloomfield growers market, Aztec growers market. So we
can get all signed up.
And get signed up for every single one of them. So Saturday at the Farmington growers market, they still have produce left. they just go through their list. Okay, so Monday I can go here, Tuesday I can go here. They don't have to go through anything. They're already signed up. They're already an approved vendor, and
Got
they
it.
can just take their wares out there.
And this training talks about what types of things? How to get signed up? Everything.
Everything. So if you go on to farmingtongrowersmarket.com,
okay,
they have an Everbright event registration.
Right.
And the Growers Market vendor training is free from 9 to noon.
Okay.
Is a free training. And that is, we do take the SNAP double up bucks. That is how to get approved to receive the SNAP coins, and also the WIC checks. So those, and you have to have been at the vendor training to be able to vend at the growers markets.
Right.
You can't just show up.
Right.
So you have to have the vendor training. So it is free, and we're giving you a lot of notice. So
right.
guys, if you want to vend at the growers market, even if you want to vend 1 or 2 Saturdays out of the season, go to the training. It's going to be fantastic. So then the afternoon, which is really great, we do have a couple people coming in. We have Denise Miller, who is a director of the Farmers Marketing Association in New Mexico, and Mike, and I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name.
All right.
Bonnie and I were trying to, it didn't happen.
Okay.
And he is the value chain coordinator for the Farmers Market Association of New Mexico. They're both going to be here with us that day.
Great.
And so the afternoon, the 1 to 4, is going to be a farming business training. And so that registration is $10, but you get a flash drive that has all the information on growing your farming business.
And can you sign up at the same website?
Yes,
to
it
do
is
both?
the exact same website.
Okay.
Go to the registration, get registered.
And that's the farmingtongrowersmarket.com.
Yes.
That's it.
So
that's where you would go. And the date again?
Is March 16th out at McGee Park, and we're going to be there from 9 to 4.
Okay.
We're going to be
it
there all
sounds like
day.
that's a long ways away, but we're already on the 5th of March. So as we were talking before, it's only less than 2 weeks.
11 days. Oh my gosh.
11 days. Yes.
So it's going to be great. You know, a lot of the farmers, they want to do more. They want to ramp up production. They want to do a value-added product, but they just don't know how. So that's what we're dedicating the afternoon session to. This is how you build it. If you want to go to all 5, 6 of the markets in the Farmington area, the San Juan County area, and you want to ramp up production a little bit, this is how you do it.
Sure. And you mentioned the other part about getting the double up food bucks and the SNAP payments and things like that to be able to accept those. And that's a really important thing too, because that's increasing your customer base by being able to accept those payments, correct?
Correct. And you know, it's such an amazing program. The SNAP double up bucks it's one of my favorite programs.
Right.
You know, we have the highest need population receiving the SNAP.
And we talked about cost too before,
Yes.
that maybe some folks may find that, trying to buy healthier food, fresher food, may be a bit more expensive than the sale at the grocery store that week. And so this is one way to maybe even out the playing field.
You can. You swipe your EBT card for $10 and you get $10 worth of tokens, of their Growers Market tokens, and then you get $10 of your SNAP coins. And they are for fresh fruits and vegetables only.
Right. But it doubles the amount of money that you have.
But it doubles the amount of money that you have to spend.
More than you could spend at the grocery store.
Absolutely.
When you're spending it at the growers market.
Right. We've had people, I've helped at the growers market at the booth, swiping the cards, and we have people coming up swiping for $50. They get $100 to spend at the growers market. Mm-hmm. That's fresh fruits and vegetables, the healthiest you can get going in to our highest need population. So it is a great program. And then we do the WIC for the mothers and infants, and we also do the senior WIC checks. So, which
something
is another
to consider as well.
Huge program for our senior citizens, to get the fresh fruits and vegetables back to them.
Right.
So.
I know sometimes you've suggested that maybe the seniors can go on a different day, maybe a less busy day.
Tuesdays at the
Farmington Market, so not the Saturday crazy day that sometimes gets a little crowded.
Saturday is a little bit crowded, when you have people lining up down the road for 8 o'clock to start. So Tuesdays are great, and we actually have a WIC representative there starting, I believe, in August.
Okay.
That actually hands out the WIC checks there.
Gotcha.
So, and for the seniors, you can get your WIC checks at ECHO.
Very exciting.
The vouchers. So they're great programs, and it just really benefits our at-need population. So
very exciting. And of course, with all this talk about the growers market, I'm all excited for it to open. But of course, we're still a few months away from that.
Still a few months away,
happening,
June.
Right?
June, beginning of June.
Got you. And now with all these things that we're planning with the food hub and some other things that you've been talking about, a greenhouse perhaps, could there be any situation where we might have a year-round growers market, or am I just dreaming?
That would be a great dream. And I'm hoping. I mean, that might be.
Could it happen?
It could. If people, there's so many different ways to grow. And, hoop houses are the small little greenhouses with just wood and plastic.
Yeah.
You can put up a hoop house for $300. And that's all, buying all the materials. That's not even.
Yeah.
That's not thinking I have wood on hand. I have some plastic on hand. So if you have to buy everything straight out, $300 for a small hoop house, and you can grow all year round in that. And a lot of people are getting into different types of growing with the hydroponics. Right. And
so I guess it's not a crazy thought that I had.
It's not a crazy thought. And I think with the food hub going on, that would be the outlet for it, because people can, restaurants, not even restaurants, citizens, regular non-restaurant owning citizens can go down to the food hub and purchase the food there. So we will have a place where you can grow all year long and sell all year long.
That's the idea behind the food hub, is to have this storage place, but also maybe a place to sell things in the off season, I guess.
Yes. So, and it's going to be, located near the downtown area. And so that downtown revitalization, bring people downtown, bring people to the area. All the local restaurants can go down and just pick through. I can see on TV everyone going to those fresh markets, picking out food for the restaurant.
Right.
To see that in Farmington is going to be amazing.
That will be very exciting.
It is.
And it's going to happen sooner than later.
It's going to happen a lot sooner than later.
Is what you're telling me.
Yes.
Okay. Yes. Very exciting. Patience Williams is my guest this morning, everybody. She works with the San Juan County Partnership, also part of the Healthy Kids, Healthy Communities program here in San Juan County. And we're going to take a short break, but when we come back, there's much more to talk about with my guest right here on KSJE. The time is 8:32. KSJE is supported by San Juan Regional Medical Center, your community hospital with a rich heritage that dates back to before New Mexico was a state. We've been improving the health of the Four Corners since 1910. As a nonprofit hospital, San Juan Regional Medical Center is a values-driven organization. We strive to deliver on our mission to personalize health care and create vitality and enthusiasm in healing. We are here for you when you need us, offering a comprehensive range of inpatient, outpatient, and emergency care services. 8:39, KSJE. You're listening to the Scott Michlin Morning Program. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for tuning in. And greetings to our viewers who are watching our live video stream on the KSJE Facebook page and YouTube channel. We are showing you a scene from Brownville, Maine this morning. This is the USA Food Pantry for Deer, and apparently it's breakfast time at the Food Pantry for Deer. It's now about 19 degrees in Maine this morning with some bright sunny skies. So good morning to the Food Pantry in Maine. Here at home, we are expecting a mostly sunny day here in Farmington with a high of 56 degrees today, 36 overnight tonight, but then a chance of showers in the forecast for the next several days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Chance of rain showers Wednesday and Thursday, high 62 tomorrow. That's pretty mild. 57 on Thursday. More regular chance for rain on Friday with a high of 55, and then rain and maybe some snow showers on Saturday with cooler temperatures. The high only making its way to 45 degrees. Outside our studios here at San Juan College, by the way, everybody, it is 35 degrees, and winds are out of the east at 6 miles per hour. I'm Scott Michlin. My guest on the radio this morning, Patience Williams, is here from the San Juan County Partnership. Once again, good morning, and thanks for being here.
I'm really happy to be here, Scott.
Lots of exciting topics that we're covering this morning, so it's always fun to visit with you. And I wanted to ask you a bit more about the community gardens that we talked about, I think, last year, and had a pretty good season at the community garden, at least in Farmington, that I know you and I talked about.
We did. We had a really great, successful year, and a shout out to Representatives James Strickler for, again, donating not only
That's
his
where
property.
The land came from, right?
His land, water, time, everything. And we've been in contact. I know he's in Santa Fe right now, working hard for us.
Right.
And we are getting ready to start on the garden tomorrow. We have some good, nice prime horse manure coming in. So,
well, there you go.
And I'm gonna be there to help get it all spread out. So,
okay.
No, we're getting everything ready, getting the ground set up,
Right.
getting all that.
It's not too early, apparently.
It's not too early.
Here we are in
if you
March.
can start getting some fertilizer on your soil. I mean, right now everything is wet.
Right.
I think most of the snow has been rained away.
Yeah, it's pretty much
the last
gone in
few
most
days.
spots, I think, unless you're really in the shade.
Right.
But yeah, right.
And get some fertilizer, get some manure, mulch, get it in there, start working your soil now.
Okay.
So, and we're starting on that. And I know there's community gardens. There's another one in Bloomfield. And if anybody knows of community gardens that we don't talk about,
Right.
contact me or Bonnie and let us know. We'd love to put you on the map.
Right.
So,
And the Bonnie you're talking about is Bonnie Hopkins, at
Hopkins.
the New Mexico State University Cooperative Extension Office in Aztec.
Correct.
Right?
Yes.
And so they would like to know about all these community efforts and things like you to be able to either help or put them on a database or at least get resources maybe or just know about them, right?
Yes, we help out as all we can and get the word out there. We know.
And this help is free, everybody.
Yes, this help is free.
In many cases, if not all.
Right. And we want community gardens, of course, the main ingredient is community. The
Right.
garden and the produce is secondary to that. It is getting to know your community, bring community together, and the benefit is fresh fruit and vegetables.
Right.
You know.
And so you had a good season last year. This year, we are hoping we have plenty of water.
We have plenty of water.
Which is exciting because we haven't talked about that, having that in a number of years.
Right. Yeah.
Having lots of snowpack.
Last year we were talking more about drought conditions, on
Right.
how are we going to survive, and we did. We ended up having a second planting. We had to kind of tear everything up and replant it, and we ended up having a great
Nice.
harvest. Our last harvest, we ended up taking 200 pounds of produce up to Eco Food Bank. So,
Wow.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not bad.
When you know what you're doing.
When you,
So that's
and
good.
I can't say I totally know what I'm doing.
Well,
Bonnie is a
more
great
than the rest of
teacher
us,
and a great
probably.
coach.
But that's exciting. And if you want to learn, though, if you're a part of this community garden, you may be able to learn things this summer and then take it back to your home for your own garden.
Right. And a lot of people think, oh, I have a black thumb. I don't have a green thumb. Pot gardens,
Right.
growing pot gardens on the back
You
porch.
could do that.
If you live
Even
in
if you're
an
in an
apartment,
apartment. Yeah, right.
you have the little ones. I mean, there's so many things. A tomato plant.
Right.
They're beautiful little blooms, You can use them decoration, and then you have cherry tomatoes.
There you
So there's so many different ways to grow it. It doesn't have to be a huge 3-acre garden in your backyard. It can be super small. It can be big, whatever you want. So you can start out small. And if you have any questions, contact us. We will be doing some gardening classes and everything at the community garden
Right.
throughout the summer, and we will definitely update you on those. We have a Facebook page.
And if folks aren't familiar with where the community garden is, because I think it's so amazing that it's right, literally in the middle of town.
It is in the middle of town.
And a lot of folks drive by and zoom by and probably never realize that just a block off of 20th Street is this community garden.
Correct. It is the Old Farmhouse Community Garden, and it's right off of Santiago. And you can drive down the alley, or you can park right there, or, opening up PhD's parking lot. But sorry, guys. They're right at PhD.
Okay.
Weight loss. It's right off of the parking lot on the other side, right there.
If you just drive off 20th, you would probably see it.
And we do have a little sign. It's not a big sign, but it's that big red farmhouse on 20th Street.
Right.
Is James's house. It's one of his rental properties, and
that's where the land came
Yes.
from, and that was all farmland at one point.
40 years ago,
Back in the day.
it was, but then unfortunately for the last 40 years, it's been a parking lot.
Right.
And so we had to do a lot of work last year. Dr. Lombard helped us out, and Bonnie and a lot of community members, James, Anthony, and everyone just put in so much effort to get that going last year. So
But what a transformation from a parking lot to this.
to a great community garden.
Right.
And so we've been talking for about the last month. I got to meet him down at the Roundhouse in January, and we've been in contact ever since, working on garden.
Very exciting.
So, yeah.
And that's just one of the many that are in the community. And again, if you're looking around, the Cooperative Extension Office may be able to direct you to something a little bit closer to your
Yes.
home if you live outside of the city of Farmington. But there are a lot of these popping up. I know about the New Beginnings Garden, I think, which
Yep.
is another one on Apache Street.
Yep, New Beginnings Garden. And I know the Bethany Church has one.
Right.
And, they grow, I want to say, strictly for Eco Food Bank, but it's a great community effort there.
Yeah.
We do have one in Bloomfield. I want to say we're going to have one in Aztec if we don't already have one. I know Bonnie is working on something right now,
Okay.
which is super exciting. About her talk about it. So we do have them popping up all over the place. And like I said, if we don't know about you, contact us, because
Right.
we'd love to know about you.
Exactly. And again, it's a great, I think, opportunity for someone who thinks like, I'd love to have my own garden, but it's just too much, maybe too much work, too much responsibility. But by helping with a community garden, you can share the load with all the other neighbors and
Right.
friends to make it successful.
And, and just our own experience, Bonnie's father-in-law and our mom, both retirees. Last year, they were the ones that were there so much,
Right.
And it's hard sometimes to have your own garden at home, but I know Lynn does have his beautiful garden, and our mom isn't able to right at this time. And so she got to spend a lot of time at the community garden.
Yeah.
So that's sometimes when you can't have your own garden at home, if you're not able to, the community garden is that place to go, not just for the gardening, but also for the community.
Right. And there's a certain something about getting that dirt under your fingernails, isn't there?
It is the most therapeutic, besides horses. Gardening is the most therapeutic thing to do. There's that dirt and the smell and just getting out there into the sun. It really is amazing.
And seeing the results at the end of the season, too.
Yes.
Very,
Yes.
very exciting. Well, wonderful. Well, patiently, I just have a few minutes left this morning. Is there something we haven't covered yet
Oh, goodness.
that we need to talk about
No, I
in our
think
remaining moments?
I have my list, and I look like everything is done, guys.
Okay. We have the training. Let's talk about that once again. The dates and times again for the Growers Market vendor training.
Yes, which everyone, please, please, please go and sign up. Go to the farmingtongrowersmarket.com, sign up for the vendor training. It is March 16th at McGee Park from 9 to 4, broken up throughout the day.
Okay.
So 9 to 12 for just the vendor training.
Free?
Yes, free. Noon to 1 for, networking, getting to know everybody. And then from 1 to 4, the farmer's business.
Training.
Yes.
And that's $10.
Yes.
But you get all the information and
all the information you
go.
could ever want on a flash drive given to you. So, but there is an Everbright registration on the Farmington Growers Market website. So
Okay.
definitely go. And if you want updates for the local food, local places, with the food hub and everything going on with that, go to aces.nmsu.edu and sign up for our newsletter. And, if you want to opt out, if you get the emails and you're like, oh, nope, it's not what I thought it was, I'm not interested, unsubscribe.
You can do that.
It's very easy to unsubscribe.
Good.
We do not want to send people stuff that makes them angry.
That's right.
We don't want it to be a negative. So if you get it and it's not what you wanted, unsubscribe and we'll find something else.
No harm, no foul.
No harm, no
there
foul.
you go.
Right.
Okay. But very exciting. And of course, with some of these future projects that you're working on, I think there is a lot of really interesting times ahead for talking about local food providers, growers, and it could be some career opportunities for folks who maybe had thought about farming or were in farming, got out of farming. But as these things kind of develop and the markets develop, and that's the whole idea, is getting local markets. It's kind of that chicken or the egg question, right? One comes first. The growing the food or the demand for the food.
Right.
And that's what you're working on
with
a lot of other folks.
We are. And, and a lot of people, a lot of people are listening, across the country. Obviously, we just had someone from New York pipe in.
Yes.
So,
hello, Western New York.
Yes. If you want to farm, they have farmers. We have so much land in this area. And the average age of our farmer is getting on up there, close to 70. And some of the second generation, they don't want to do the farming. But there's people from across the country that are looking to farm, and they just need to know where to go. Come here.
Right.
Come here. There's opportunities. We have land leases, opportunities. And I know, Bonnie, we're going to have her on here soon.
Right.
And she can go a little bit more into that.
And different from most other places in New Mexico, we have access to water.
We do have access to water.
Most years.
The San Juan Basin, most years, is really good. It's not where you have to worry about it too much. But there's land that, the families want to keep, but they want to lease out. They don't want to see it go fallow, So there are opportunities, and we want people to come to this area. Farmington is a great place, no matter what Newsweek and all these people say.
Oh, well, we don't,
they don't count. They don't
That's
count. They
right.
don't matter. We know the good place. And we want people to come into the community and see, and there is that opportunity here.
But there's a lot of places that have been farmed for years and years and years, maybe not so much anymore, but they're ready to go.
Right.
Literally, and maybe the irrigation is ready to go, or it's not wouldn't take too much to get it back up and running, and we're talking acres and acres and acres.
And then we have people with the knowledge and the resources to do that.
Right.
So if you're interested in farming and you live back east or Midwest or anywhere and you want somewhere new, come to Farmington. Call Bonnie.
There you go. She'll get you set
Everyone
up.
just call Bonnie.
And but there are these big, exciting plans that are coming into fruition. I mean, and I think that's what folks maybe until they actually see it, it's hard to maybe visualize what that means. But when we talk about maybe having the ribbon cutting at the food hub and seeing maybe a greenhouse go up and seeing some of these things, folks will feel bad that they didn't get in on the ground floor.
It's real and it's happening. And even for us, it's happening so fast that we did not. This was, when you think one of your dream big action goals, which is up here, they're like, oh, well, we'll work towards that in the next 10 years.
Right.
It's going to be up and going in under 2 years.
Right.
It's huge.
And there's money backing all this up. We're not just flapping our gums here on the radio.
There is money.
There's dollars.
We have hired Erin. Erin Havens is with us. We brought her in from California.
Right.
And she's the new coordinator there. So it is happening. It is going to be up and running.
Okay.
So
can't wait.
I know, me neither.
Come back and see us.
Absolutely.
Thanks, you, Patience. Nice to talk to you. Patience Williams, my guest from the San Juan County Partnership, talking about nutrition and food and all kinds of things happening in Farmington and San Juan County. Did you enjoy that podcast? We hope that you did. And if you did, share it with your friends. And if you really want to keep podcasts like this coming, please support KSJE. You can do it easily online at ksje.com.